Hi guys, Football-ManagerYouthDevelopment.co.uk here. In this episode, we're going to be taking a look how you can help your players settle quicker at your club. Whenever you make a new signing for your team, it's obviously very important to make sure that your player settles as quickly as possible. Not only is this good for the player that you sign, but it's also very, very good for your team. Obviously, if all your players are really settled, then this will help your team perform better, and obviously if you're performing better, then you're likely to win a hell of a lot more matches. To make this video, I'm just going to be using Chelsea just as an example. So I am actually a Chelsea supporter, in real life, and I have actually been on a tour of Stamford Bridge, and one thing I did notice is that a lot of the players, especially say the Brazilian guys, all their shirts are kind of next to each other in the dressing room. I also noticed, say, Ivanovic and Matic, they're both obviously Serbian, and they're, where they kind of sit in the dressing room is just kind of next to each other sort of thing. I also noticed, so Diego Costa, he did actually sit with all the Brazilian guys in the dressing room at Chelsea, and yeah, it was quite interesting just to kind of see where all the players sat. Obviously John Terry and Gary Cahill. Chelsea don't exactly have a lot of English players in the team, but John Terry and Gary Cahill, obviously they play exactly the same position as each other on the pitch, but in the dressing room they sit next to each other as well. So one of the more important things that you can do, just to show you as a real quick example, so what I decided to do was sign this guy from Real Madrid, just completely as an example. So what I basically did, I just went to Spain, and obviously this guy is a Spanish international. What I decided to do is just sign one of the kind of younger guys, but when you do sign a player of the same nationality, what you can do, say if we take Cesc Fabregas, what you can do is go up to the interaction part, and then what you can do, if we click on private chat, you can see here that you can ask Cesc Fabregas, who is obviously a really experienced international, and you can get him to just show the new signing around. So yeah, it says here, if it would be great if you could show your fellow countrymen around the club and help him integrate him into the team. I'd really appreciate this. So I had already clicked on that on Cesc Fabregas, so what I'm going to do is just go back and I'll just show you Diego Costa, obviously Spanish as well. So what you would do, if you just sign the player, you go to interaction, ambassadorial duties, new signings, and then you get exactly the same message, but that's a really good thing to do, just to help your players settle into your club a little bit quicker. My second tip to make sure that your players settle as quickly as possible is, if you can, to try and get them tutored as quickly as you can. So unfortunately this guy's injured at the moment, but if he wasn't injured, he's 22 years old at the moment, so we would be able to get him tutored if there was someone suitable enough to get him tutored by. Obviously if the player is over the age of 23, what you can do is get him to tutor a younger player. This obviously improves morale, and it's a really good way just to make sure that your players are interacting with each other, and obviously just to make sure that the morale's as high as possible as well. My third tip is to make sure that your player is match fit before you throw him into any games. Obviously this player is quite a good example because he's injured at the moment, when we signed him, and his fitness at the moment, as you can see here, is injured. So what I would make sure I do with this guy is to just make sure that he plays enough games for the for the under 21s, or just coming on as a sub, just to make sure that he's not chucked into the deep end too soon. You'll quite often see in real life that what a number of managers do, if they do make a new signing, they will usually, if it's sort of like a foreign player, the player may sort of start from on the bench kind of thing, just for a few games, just to help him get settled to the kind of pace of the Premier League and things like this. So you can certainly do that with your players as well. It's a really good idea, just to make sure they're match fit and that they're actually ready to play games of football. You don't want to be bringing a player on who's like really low condition, or if his morale's low as well. My fourth tip, and a really good thing to get into the habit of doing, if you click on the interaction tab here, you can go to advice, and what you can do is get the player to recommend a new signing or to recommend a staff addition. So just to test this out, I'm going to click on recommend signing, and when that loads, and just so for example, if I click I need a midfielder, and first team player. So what he said here, it might be a good idea if we have a look at Isco. And so what we can say to him here is, thanks for the advice, I'll seriously consider looking at him. If you Do remember at the beginning, just before I spoke to him, he was on good morale. This has made him go up to very good morale. And so yeah, that's a really good and quick, easy way to just make sure you settle the player a lot better and quicker at your club. Just make sure that you're increasing his morale as quickly as possible. Really quickly, in addition to this, what you can also do, if you go to interaction, click on go to a private chat, and what you can do is praise the player. So just as a quick example, I praise the player for his conduct, and what I decided to do was just say that the way that he's promoting the club, he's a credit to the team, etc. And that, of course, is just made sure that his morale is increased even further. My fifth and final tip is to make sure that you're getting your player on a really good training schedule straight away. So to have a look at his training schedule, if you click on development and then go to training, from here what you'll be able to do is just put his focus, depending on how you want to develop the player. So this player is still quite young, you might want to say improve his technique, for example. So it's important that you're putting the player on a good training schedule to suit the position that he's playing for, and to just make sure that he's kind of motivated at training, and just so that you can develop him as quickly as possible, and just so that he feels that he's training and being developed in the correct way. I'm going to call this the end of the episode here, guys, but if you did have any additional tips for the type of things that you usually do to make sure that your players settle into their new clubs as quickly as possible, please do leave your comments in the comments section below if you're watching this on YouTube. And of course, do subscribe to the channel and press the like button. It really does help the channel out a lot. And of course, come back very soon where we'll be making some more Football Manager videos. Thanks for watching.